What's going on? It's Tuesday, October 28th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host here, Jace Cooper, alongside my producer, Jacob Gramegna, and we are,
tired.
Yeah, you can tell. We're pretty tired today. It was a long night last night. Obviously, for those who don't know, I don't know, maybe you're watching NHL, NBA, NFL and during the sports equinox. Well, we were watching NFL, then we watched the MLB. And it's a long day, long night. Tough. Jays lose, obviously, an absolute heartbreaker after pitching 8 scoreless innings. Wait, no, longer. 10 scoreless innings in a row for the Jays, was it?
Yeah, something like that.
It was
10.
And we were worried about this Dodgers offense, and we were dealing. But the problem was our bats weren't any good that day either. It was a tough day. Shout out to those who joined the show yesterday. We talked through some Hunt 2+ TDs. We were close to getting the 2+ TDs plus Hunt rushing unders. Hitman came on and instantly ruined it after Hunt ran for had a 15-yard carry. But we were close. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, it's going to be a rough show for me. I'll tell you guys that right now. We did our Monday night watch along here. If you didn't watch that, what are you doing? You got to tune in. That was a good one. But that game ended at 11 o'clock Eastern time. And I was like, you know what? I live 25 minutes away from the office. I'll just go down to the pub down here, watch the game. When it's done, I'll head home. 9th inning, 10th inning, 11th inning. I'm looking at my clock. It's 1:30 a.m. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? 13th, 14th, 15th inning. It ended up, this game lasted till 2:40 a.m. I got home at 3 a.m. and
I was glad you were at the bar because I was wondering at 2 a.m. I was wondering if the bars would have stayed open for this game.
Okay, yeah. So they were obviously were supposed to be closed.
Yeah.
They were nice enough to stay open. They were also they were also nice enough at 2:10. I was like, listen, I know you guys are an hour and a half past last call, but can I just have one beer? And she's like, you know what? Fuck it. Fuck corporate. Take one. And she just gave me a beer. I was like, You're incredible. This is what sports is made for.
Don't dox the bar.
I won't dox the bar. I won't dox the bar. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to dox them. But yeah, they ended up giving me a beer, which was nice. And yeah, obviously, though not the best outcome. You wanted to win, but I had kind of this thought on the drive home, just the championship run, you want to win the championship, obviously. That's the number one goal in sports. But part of being a fan isn't the end goal of winning that championship. Maybe that's what you remember the most, and maybe this is a loser attitude to have. But part of the enjoyment is the journey there.
I'll worry about the journey when the series is over.
Well, yeah, I guess. So I'm enjoying the journey right now, and
so
that's
am I, but
this is the positives you have to hold on to. In my opinion, at least. Listen, maybe that's a bad mentality to have. Maybe I'm wrong in thinking that, but that's
Game 4 tonight. We go again.
Yeah, exactly. That was my little bit of copium after getting home and hitting my head hitting the bed at 3:10, 3:15 a.m. Anyways, we got a great show for you today. Didn't even break down who we have on today. Of course, as you know, every Tuesday, every Thursday, we have the Edge Work Overtime with Alex So Money joining the show today. We're going to be breaking down World Series reaction to Game 3, talking about some the decision makings that happened there. Talk about the umpire whose strike zone was all over the place. And then Drew Dinsick's going to come on, bat lead off, talk some futures, talk some. Actually, we switched it up. We're not doing futures today. We're going to talk some sides we like this week. Talk a little bit about the scoring environment in the NBA, things of that nature. So before we get into the show, do us a huge favor, smash that like button. Goes a long way for us here on the channel. And if you're new to the channel as well, hit that subscribe button. If you don't want to hit the subscribe button just yet, stick around for the whole show. I promise you by the end, you'll want to hit that subscribe button. Before we get into Drew.
Wait. Isn't there usually 3 guests before Edgework Overtime? What happened to the 3rd guest that was supposed to come on the show today?
Well, Rob says he wasn't feeling well today, which
he wasn't feeling well.
Well, let's just take a look at his Twitter account. Maybe there's some hints over there. Oh, a tweet at 1:13 a.m. About to pour myself a spro. I just brewed an espresso at 12:53 a.m. I wonder maybe if that's why he's not on today.
I really wish today is a day I really wish I had a quote unquote real job that I could call in sick for. because I am not having fun today.
No, you know what? I'm down to grit through it. This is for the people. I love the chat. I love the audience. We do this all for you. Before we get into Drew over here, just want to give a quick shout out to our friends over at BetStamp. With football in full swing and basketball back on the board, now is the time to lock in the BetStamp Pro Prop Screen. Pro is built for high-level bettors who need to spot and scale up edges fast. Between NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, and daily NBA action, prop markets are more liquid and prices are sharper than ever, so the window to exploit inefficient numbers is right now. You can't do that without a hyper-efficient, reliable true line that shows you the real market price in seconds across 150-plus outs, helping you find and hit scalable edges. Don't wait. The opportunity to capitalize on the prop market is right now. Visit betstamp.com/hammer or scan the QR code on screen to apply for a demo. Spots are limited during the season, so you're going to want to do that pretty fast. All right, let's get into today's show. Let's see how I do on today's show. He's an NFL, NBA, and tennis handicapper. He's a betting analyst over at NBC Sports. Co-host of the Deep Dive podcast. You know him. You love him. You see him here most Tuesdays. Drew, how's it going, my friend?
It's going tremendously well. You guys are doing a tremendous effort considering how late it was East Coast time that ball game wrapped up last night. So really, hats off to you for carrying the show in the absence of other senior members of the Hammer Network. But no, in seriousness, the baseball last night was phenomenal. The Fall Classic continues to deliver. And cool that you guys get to at least have a story, even if it's not a win. Much better to have a game like that than just, a generic, forgettable game 3. And, at the end of the day, you just really need to win one in LA, right?
Yeah, that's the whole goal. That's what I've been saying. Like we quite literally have to, or else we lose.
Almost got one.
I know it was close. I'm gonna get into like the whole decision making process, the officiating a little bit later. It also felt like the Jays were kind of just towards the end of towards the 15th, 16th. I don't know what inning it was. Anything that was up, they were just swinging at, just because the ump just was calling anything outside of the zone that was up, and they were just like kind of blindly swinging. It felt like that at least. Anyways, how do you feel as a Dodgers fan? You're feeling good? Are you a Dodgers fan? I know you're close to LA-ish.
Well, I effectively Long Beach is Los Angeles. Okay. I think I'm in LA County.
Okay, but geography is horrible. Like that's not my strong suit.
It's not easy to get to a Dodger Stadium from where I live, though, because the traffic here is famously horrific. Mm-hmm. The main bar I hang out and watch baseball at is a Dodger bar, so I definitely have a little bit of affinity for LA and. I wouldn't say that I'm as optimistic and confident as I was a week ago. I think the Blue Jays have been a very, very impressive side so far. The first game in particular was like okay, we got ourselves a serious kind of wake-up call. And then last night, when the Dodgers were down 5-4, I was like, man, this is we're gonna need some heroics here. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, they decided to start intentionally walking Shohei Ohtani a little bit too late.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anytime a guy like four of his, was it 9? Was he intentionally walked 5 times? 4 of his 9 at bats where you actually swung the bat.
4 times.
2 doubles.
Well, he got intentionally walked officially 4 times, but the 5th was as intentional as can be.
Yeah, it seems like we'll just throw balls at him to see if he maybe will swing at one, and then. He didn't end up doing that. I think he was aware of that. But, so what was it? 4 intentional walks, 1 walk, 2 doubles, and 2 home runs. Maybe.
Unbelievable.
I don't know. I don't know the math behind it, but maybe intentionally walk him going forward. Just like gotta think if you're pitching, if you're Shohei Ohtani and you're pitching, wouldn't that kind of send you into orbit if you just get intentionally walked every time?
If you intentionally walk him, you also put the tying run at first with 2 MVPs back to back coming up.
Yes. Well, I guess I don't know. This is the whole conundrum. This is why the Dodgers are good. Anyways,
ultimately, I don't think they got punished for that strategy, intentionally walking him last night. Which means that if he sees another pitch in the strike zone this series, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Honestly,
and one right down the middle of the plate.
That was a
mound
meatball
visit. Yeah.
like, okay, maybe I'm turning this into like World Series talk right now, even though we got a World Series guest coming up right now. Was it not kind of crazy that they didn't consider to intentionally walk Freddie Freeman as well? Like Will Smith just took a ball off of the arm. He's like a little bit banged up. I guess I don't know. Maybe this is, yeah. I guess can't.
Second guessing it is the best, man. That's you got this is the full experience.
Yeah,
I love it.
This is I can go about this all day. Let's get into the NFL stuff here though. I'm getting us sidetracked. I think that's my lack of sleep that's talking. We're gonna talk. You have a couple sides you really like this week. Starting with the Chargers taking on the Titans. Titans at home here. Pretty big number here. 10.5 juice minus 120 over at FanDuel. You like the Titans in this game. Talk us through why you like this here.
Yeah, I would qualify a little bit. There's not a lot of sides I really like this week.
Okay, sorry.
This is a tough week, and these are all tough handicaps, honestly. But this one is the one that's just like, how do you square this? I mean, the Chargers are. I feel like if you want to assume the absolute best of what you've seen from them so far this year, and the return of Khalil Mack has made this defense a top 5 unit again, and Joe Alt back now, this offensive line issues are fixed. Like this Chargers team is still like at best like a +3 as far as a neutral power rating. For me, it's more like a +1. But let's just humor the Chargers Bulls out there and give them a +3. I think that the Titans Bears out there, the biggest you could really get them to admit to a negative number for the Titans is probably -8, and that feels aggressive to me. I think there's a realistic world where Jeffrey Simmons comes back this week. That's a nice matchup against an interior D-line, offensive line that has issues, and then the offense, just like they're not good, but they still have some potential for explosives, and in general at home, I'm not as concerned about them just completely combusting. So. Yeah, if you're telling me at best the Chargers are a +3 and at worst the Titans are a -8, then we can barely square a 10 and 10.5 point spread here. I personally think the Titans are more like a -7. I think the Chargers are more like a +1. So I'm closer to this line fair being around a touchdown. So give me the Chargers +10, and I will. Give me the Titans +10, and I'm going to hold my nose here with this dog breath team.
Yeah, it's not a fun one. It's never good backing a team that's like power rated as the worst team in football essentially. But I mean, we've seen Cam Ward like turn it. I don't want to say turn it on because like he doesn't really have much in most of the games. But like we've seen him like be able to throw the football when teams are basically playing prevent defense, and like he can move the ball downfield a little bit in the fourth quarter. So you can hope and get like a cover if they're up 2 scores here. If it's kind of out of range coming to the fourth quarter, there's still some hope towards the end of the game here. So yeah, plus like you said, the bump to Tennessee with Jeffrey Simmons. It's just the cornerback room really scares me against like some pretty good receivers and a good quarterback, obviously.
That's true. That's true. I will say that I'm trying not to get influenced by like Survivor crossover here, but we're going to be swerving from away from the Chargers this week and hoping that the entire pool is on the Chargers and that they do something dumb like when they lost to the Giants.
Okay. Now you're making me reconsider the Chargers, who I already have locked into my survivor. I haven't clicked save yet, but it's in. All right, let's move on to the next game you have here. It's Denver taking on the Houston Texans. I like this one. Denver +1.5 at Houston. I mean, they beat the wheels off the Cowboys. They put up a ton of points. This Denver offense obviously left a lot to be desired in previous weeks where it felt like they were fluking their ways to victory. I mean, listen, they were scoring the points in the fourth. Like they were mounting these heroic comebacks that didn't feel sustainable. They did it against another poor defense here in Dallas. Now they play like a pretty legit defense in Houston on the road, laying 1.5 points here. You like the Denver side though? Like, talk us through it.
Yeah, so I played the money line here +104, and the way you're framing the question, I think, is fair, but it actually has less to do with why I care for the Denver in this one. Like I completely agree. Like this is a humongous step up in class, going from playing the Dallas Cowboys defense, which is the worst in the NFL at home, to going on the road and facing the Bulls on Parade, who are a very, very formidable unit. This is going to be a tough one for them to consistently, move the ball and score points. But for me, the rubric here is entirely about, well, do we know enough? Do we know exactly what the Texans are? And I think the answer is yes. And the Texans are a team that when they are up against, any type of defense that can generate consistent pressure, the wheels fall off. We saw it against the Rams week 1. We saw it against the Seahawks 2 weeks ago. And they play a Niners team at home last week, which has the lowest pressure rate of any defense in football this season, and is in the lowest rate on top of missing their 2 best pass rushers, and Bosa, who's done for the season, and Huff, who missed the game. And it's like, okay, well, so you give CJ Stroud all of the time in the world to pick apart your defense, and he's going to look great. Like, he has the skill set, he has the tools. All of the narrative around CJ Stroud's lackluster season this year has been completely, in my opinion at least, missing the point that when he is given time, he is excellent. The problem is you're going from playing the team that generates the fewest amount of pressures to the team that generates the most, and not even just the most, but the most at a historic level. The Broncos are generating pressure on 45% of opponent dropbacks. That is a humongously high number. And ultimately, it probably regresses by the time we get to the end of the season. But there's a world here where CJ Stroud is just under duress consistently, and that, Texans team's not getting to, double digits. So that's kind of the only reason I'm interested in the Broncos here. And it's more of just like, there's more uncertainty in the broader distribution of outcomes for what the Denver Broncos do offensively in this game, but I think it's a pretty narrow and a pretty lopsided low distribution for the Texans.
I think I fully agree with you there. It's almost like a mirror match we have here, where again, like 2 offenses that aren't that great versus 2 really strong defenses. But that floor of the Denver offense, I would take the floor of the Denver offense over like the Houston floor is the basement essentially. So
that's
like
a good way to put it.
Yeah, very very good point there. Let's move on to like a number that kind of shocked me a bit. New York Jets getting like a lot of respect in market here ish. I know the 49ers are a little bit banged up, but 2.5 points, minus 102 over at FanDuel at home. You like the Giants here as well. Talk me through. Is it just the Jackson Dart season? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, a little bit of a carryover from the last conversation we had. The Niners can't generate pressure. I'm not expecting Huff to be back here, so Dart's going to have plenty of time to operate. I like the mobile aspect of his game as well in this matchup, and just being able to get to the second level and test the linebacking and tackling. The Giants defense is a wild situation run stop right now, and that is a little spooky going up against a team that is perfectly happy just feeding Christian McCaffrey and seeing what happens. Every time the Niners get into the red zone, they'll probably score a touchdown on the ground in this game, and I'm prepared for that. But to me, it looks like the Niners are coming in with 2 problems. One is certainly the defensive line, their ability to kind of man up in the trenches defensively, and then their offensive line. It was kind of quietly covered in the loss to the Texans, but that offensive line is really, really showing some cracks. Trent Williams looks seriously banged up. They obviously have a rotating cast of characters in the interior of the offensive line there for the Niners, and so I think there's a world here where the Giants D-line is able to kind of win their battle in the trenches, and then the Giants offense is able to give Jackson Dart time to give us one of his better performances of the season. So don't love much on the card this week, but Giants at plus money look like a pretty fun play. And honestly, I would take the plus 135 money line right now instead of taking the 2.5 points. I doubt this gets to 3. And I feel like you're trying to play a little bit more on the upside of the Giants offense, kind of finding their rhythm and getting something going against the Niners than you are looking for them to play a close game that lands inside a field goal.
Yeah, fair enough. Here also, if Brock Purdy is back, like you got to wonder how he's able to manage with like coming off of a leg injury with the pressure that might be generated from the New York Giants defense here might struggle out the gate. Just in terms of mobility, he's not really a mobile quarterback anyways, but just it's like that extra added factor here. Let's flip over to a team that I've loved in market. This is the last one before we head out here. Seattle at Washington. Actually, you know what? We're going to scrap this because people are asking in the chat. we're going to scrap that. We're going to go towards and flip over to the Breeders' Cup because people are asking for what you like in the Breeders' Cup. So I'm gonna please the chat. Sorry, chat. Sorry to you, Drew, as well, because we talked 10 minutes about baseball. So we're gonna cut the segment short here.
Fun, man.
But yeah, anything you like in the Breeders' Cup?
Oh my God, the Breeders' Cup Classic is on Saturday, 3:00 Pacific, Del Mar. I know that there's a lot of sports going on, and horse racing falls way down the list for most of the serious bettors in our kind of orbit. But this is the most competitive and kind of complete horse race that has been run in my lifetime. You have the 3 best 4-year-olds on earth in Fierceness, Sierra Leone, and Forever Young returning. That was your top 3 winners from the Breeders' Cup Classic last year on the same course, same distance. Your 3 best horses of the 3-year-old class this year were Sovereignty, Journalism, and Baeza. They went 1, 2, 3 in the Derby. They went 1, 2, 3 in the Belmont. They are all in this race as well. So you have kind of the perfect storm of the top 3 4-year-olds, top 3 3-year-olds. Add in Mindframe, who is is a very kind of accomplished horse out of the Baffert barn, and like now we're out of the Pletcher barn. Now we're cooking. Like, this is a ridiculously talented field, and Sovereignty is your short shot right now. It's 6-5 on the morning line, which feels pretty aggressive considering how deep this field is. You have quality closers that can challenge Sovereignty, like Sierra Leone and Forever Young, and Baeza for that matter, who's kind of come into his own. He was a younger horse, didn't have wasn't quite sharp enough to take on Sovereignty in the Kentucky Derby or the Belmont. Now he is kind of fully grown into his body. So I think the name of the game in the Breeders' Cup Classic is going to be taken on the chalk here. And the horses that pop for me in that regard are Baeza, Sierra Leone, and Forever Young.
All right, I'll try and repeat those names. Don't remember. It was too long of a night last night. It honestly felt like you were speaking a different language to me when you were going through that stuff. But yeah, hopefully the chat got out of that as much as they wanted here. Drew, I appreciate you joining the show. Yeah, we'll chat soon. Hopefully our Jays can pull out one win in LA.
All right, best luck, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Talk soon, Drew. See ya. All right, great stuff there from Drew. Always a fun time having him on. Always a fun time chatting. Yeah, like love talking NFL. Love talking all this stuff with Drew, even MLB. Wish we could talk more NFL on this show, though. Unfortunately, Rob decided to ditch
just unprofessional and unprofessional representation of the Hammer.
He said, "I'm tired. I'm too sleepy. I can't come in from work. Call in from home."
Bad look for the company. Hope the board is watching.
Yeah. But whatever. Hey. Board better be watching, because there's 2 people here right now who are doing it, grinding it out.
We're out here working hard.
I had to commute here. I had to Rob doesn't have to commute. He rolls out his bed and puts his little do-rag on, and
I walk down the street.
Yeah, that's still a commute. That's still a commute. But yeah. Anyways, before we get into our next guest here, Josh Goldberg is going to come on, talk us through the World Series, talk us through the Jays. Hopefully, you guys aren't tired of our World Series talk, but I don't think you can, because this series has been absolutely incredible. Just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors over at FanDuel. Buckets, buzzer beaters, and your choice of rewards. That's how FanDuel does basketball season. And right now, every day to start the season, you choose your reward. Play it your way, pick what fits your game, and take control of how you bet. Take your shot with a profit boost, play it cool with a no sweat bet, or get a little backup with a bet back token. The ad read here tells me to talk through the NBA board and to talk about some things I like. Jacob, I putting you on the spot here. I got to throw to you for this one. I don't know enough about the NBA.
Dude, I slept till 3 a.m. I didn't wake up and check out the NBA lines this morning, unfortunately.
All right. Doing you guys a slight disservice. Apologies about that.
Give me a warning.
Yeah, sorry. I honestly, I didn't read this ad read before. This is fully my fault. Let's just go take a swing see what nothing is good on BetStamp Pro. All right, we'll bring you something towards the end on what you can do your profit boost on. You just got to stick around towards the end of the show. Anyways, whatever fits your game, the choice is yours. That's what happens when you play on a sports book built for your game. However you play, FanDuel is giving you the power to choose your reward and own your game. Every single day to start the NBA season, head over to FanDuel.com/forward progress to make your choice. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Please play responsibly. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas and affiliates with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in DC, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, or 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rghelp.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/Chatham, Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 or visit connexontario.ca. All right. We got our next guest coming up here. It's Josh Goldberg. He's a writer at Blue Jays Nation, host of the DFA podcast, and one would have to assume he is as tired as all of us here are in studio. Josh, how's it going, my friend?
Yeah, I'm dragging ass so far today. It's been tough. It's especially tough because they lost, but I think I'm on coffee number 4, I would say.
I listen, I wish I had more coffee here because I am absolutely dying. There's so much to get into for this game. First of all, I have to ask, I feel like ask anyone from the Toronto area, how did you consume this? Were you with friends? Were you at home? Were you at a bar? What was your consumption of choice for this Jays game?
At home with a buddy, and he stuck it out until the bitter end, even though he's got kids and got no sleep. But this is just such as life. It's the World Series. Your team's in it. You got to stay with it till the end. There was never a scenario where I wasn't making it. If they were still playing now, somehow I'd still be watching, no question.
I agree with that too. I was watching at a bar in the area because, again, like I mentioned in the audience knows this. We were doing our live watch along of the Monday Night Football game when that finished up. It's a pretty far drive for me to get home, so I'm like, all right, I'll just go to the bar that's right near here, sit and watch however long that. Anyways, 4 hours later, I'm stuck in the bar still, and there's 8 of us left, and we're sticking it out. And yeah, it was a fun one. Let's break down this game though a little bit here. Some of the biggest talking points I think were some of the decisions that John Schneider made in the game. Were there any that you feel like you've fundamentally disagreed with looking back? For me, the Kirk pull felt a little bit like maybe that was a little too soon on the base running.
He was hurt.
He was hurt, but I think that's fair. But yeah. Anyways, anything in particular that you?
The one that I would say really I think is the one that stands out the most, and I'm sure the one that a lot of people have problems with, was taking out Miles Straw, or rather taking out Addison Barger for Miles Straw.
Yeah.
It just felt unnecessary in that situation. I understand it was late in the game and there was an opportunity to score the go-ahead run, but I just don't think that the speed upgrade that Miles Straw provides over Addison Barger was worth the possibility that was what actually ended up unfolding, that Miles Straw would get 4 or 5 plate appearances and do nothing with them because, the statistics are what they are. He's not a particularly good hitter. And it just felt a little bit too much in that situation. I'm going to live with the results if Addison Barger, gets caught at a base or something like that. It's just not something that I thought made any sense. And obviously it ended up really, I think, coming back to haunt the Blue Jays because it was very easy to foresee a situation in which Addison Barger in any number of those spots might have been able to do something in one of those at-bats where Miles Straw was not able to.
Yeah, it felt like John Schneider's decision-making was kind of based on all right, if we don't get a run now, we're kind of fucked regardless. So let's try and swing for the fences this inning and try and do our best to maximize getting a run. And then 9 innings later, we're still in the thick of things and it's no one scored a run. I think that's the biggest, most shocking thing was how deep we were able to go with this pen against essentially an incredible LA Dodgers lineup of bats and not give up a run. That was pretty shocking. Any other big takeaways. Like, what was your thoughts on the umpire? Who I know it affects both teams equally. He was calling a lot of those up in the zone, or I guess up out of the zone, balls as strikes, which kind of came to screw us. And I think it was the 4th inning or 5th inning in the middle of the innings. And I don't know, you know which play I'm talking about, where it was a ball that was called a strike, and then I think it was Bichette got thrown out at first. Like, any opinion here on the umpire?
It was bad. Like, the only opinion is that it was bad, and it was bad in game 2 as well. There were a lot of missed calls. Unfortunately, such is life these days. Umpires miss too many calls, and that's why there's going to be a challenge system next season. It's not helping anybody right now because, like, the Bichette thing can't happen. Can't happen on his part. Varsho, I'm not really sure what he was doing, throwing the bat like that. I know it was a delayed call, but those are the kinds of things you just can't allow that momentary lapse of, I don't know, focus or concentration. But it was bad all around. The low part of the strike zone was inconsistent as well. It was tough. I'm not going to sit here and blame the umpire as the reason that the Blue Jays lost, because I always think that that's just kind of loser thinking. Yeah. It was certainly a factor in a lot of spots, but I think the Jays had 2 hits after the 10th inning and like 26 at bats. I understand the lineup was not very good after all of the substitutions and guys getting pulled, but still 2 hits and 26 at bats. No matter what you want to say about anything else, that's the reason they lost the game.
Yeah. Do you think that they should have gone to Bieber at all? I know they saw him, like, they were putting him in the pen for a little bit, saw him warming up. After, I don't know, little in his first inning looked pretty, like, pitched well, and then obviously he ended up giving up the run that ended the game. But yeah, do you have any opinion there? Like, because we also saw, was it Yoshinobu Yamamoto warming up for the Dodgers as well? Like, any opinion on Bieber here?
I think if the game had gone a little bit longer, you would have been forced to use him, because Brandon Little was already up over 25 pitches when he gave up that home run to Freddie Freeman. He wasn't long for the game. I understand, like, Eric Lauer, that's just going to be a footnote because like, he was so good and threw so many pitches way above anything he had been stretched out to over the last several weeks or even longer. Like, some people are like, oh my, it's Brandon Little again. Brandon Little is nowhere near the reason that the Blue Jays lost the game. He's the last guy in the bullpen. What are you expecting at that point? There's a reason that they didn't go to him until, the 17th inning. So it's a tough one because you win the game in Bieber pitches, then it's a lot easier to stomach the possibility of him not being available today when you already have a win in your back pocket and the series is going back to Toronto regardless. But now, you've got him. Both teams are going to be fatigued in every way, especially in the bullpen. And you're hoping that he can find a way to outduel Ohtani tonight, because the idea of a 3-1 deficit against this Dodgers team feels like a really, really daunting, unforgiving prospect for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, we definitely need to pick up a win here. Let's talk about this game tonight. Break it down for us. Ohtani against Bieber. I know Ohtani technically only had 5 at-bats. He was walked for 4 other ones. But, like, do you think that, like, fatigue might settle in a little bit for him here now that he's pitching as well and batting? Also, how should the Blue Jays navigate Ohtani, like, at an at-bat basis? Like, 2 home runs, 2 doubles, and then the only other time he was pitched to, it was essentially an intentional walk, but just not labeled as an intentional walk. And any opinion on how they should handle him here and just the game in general?
Yeah, I would proceed with caution whenever possible. Like, I'm not gonna intentionally walk him in the first inning tonight, but I don't want to give him an opportunity to beat me. Like, the situation last night in the 7th inning was egregious. Like, you have a mound visit, and then Sir Anthony Dominguez grooves him a first pitch fastball, and he hits it and hits a home run. Like, if you're going to pitch to him, you can't miss either right down the middle or on the inner part of the plate, because that's where he does his most damage. You got to pitch him away or bust him up and in with hard stuff. And they didn't execute really last night. He was just obviously locked in, but the pitches weren't, I thought, particularly good to him. You weren't making life difficult on him. And Mookie Betts has really struggled in this series. And I understand Mookie Betts is one of the best players of the last 10 years or so. But until he steps up in a meaningful way, I'm willing to take my chances with him, which is crazy. But the alternative is Ohtani beating you, and that's just not a scenario that you should feel is one that is acceptable. So I think they're going to continue pitching him cautiously. And up until even Freeman hit that home run last night, he had been struggling in terms of performance as well. He had some good at bats and hit the ball hard, but the numbers in the playoffs have not been particularly good for the most part. So I'm content to allow those guys to swing away if it means Ohtani isn't hitting home runs all over the place and flipping the game on its head.
Yeah. How would you roll with the Jays lineup today? Who would you have where kind of keep things status quo, change anything up from yesterday's game?
Well, obviously the George Springer situation looms extremely large. Yeah. So I guess I would be surprised if we saw him again in the series. Like that looked like a tailor-made oblique strain, and with a handful of days left, the series is over on Saturday. It's just, maybe it was just precautionary, but the way he immediately grimaced and was like, I got nothing here, I'm done, doesn't really inspire a ton of confidence. So if he is not part of the equation, at least for tonight and potentially for however long this series ends up going, that's going to be tricky because you're going to have to figure out. I assume Joey Loperfido will get put on the roster. Maybe he plays a little bit because it's a right-handed pitcher on the mound, and then you mix and match based on that. But you're going to need Vladdy to be better than he's been so far in the series. I don't believe he has an RBI yet, and obviously he doesn't have a home run. It's been more singles than extra base hit power, which is what we saw obviously against the Yankees in Seattle. And if Springer's not there, that's obviously a huge missing anchor in terms of hitting home runs in your lineup. So it's going to fall on the likes of Guerrero and Varsho and Bo Bichette and Alejandro Kirk to really pick up the slack. And they're certainly capable of it, but your margin for error shrinks so much without a player of George Springer's caliber hitting atop your lineup.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. You got to assume also it's got to be Bichette that comes into DH, and then whoever goes in at second base, we'll kind of figure it out from there. It was such a long game that I forgot that George Springer got hurt. Oh my God. Anyways, what do you think is going to be like the number one factor that the Jays need to do to win this game? And like how key is this game? It's obviously probably the most pivotal game. Like you said, going down 3-1 is like a daunting task. It'd be nice if we're going to bring it back home, but what give me the number one key to the game for the Jays here?
Well, I think Shane Bieber's got to be like he was in Seattle when they were down 2-0. Like he's going to have to come out and be really sharp because you got to buy the bullpen as much, I guess, leeway as possible. You don't want to be turning to them in the fourth inning or something like that after the amount of pitches and arms that were used and thrown last night. So I think he's going to be crucial, and finding a way to figure something out against Ohtani because he's been quite good pitching wise in the playoffs. He's had a couple of really good starts, had a great one against the Phillies, had obviously a gem with 10 strikeouts against Milwaukee in the NLCS. He is very capable of going 6 innings and striking out 10 or more than that. So you're going to have to be dialed in terms of what you're looking for and an attack mentality, and if he makes any mistakes, you got to capitalize because he's not liable to make that many. So if he does make any, you got to be on top of them. Otherwise, it could be a really long night.
All right, give me a score prediction for tonight's game before you head out here.
Oh, I don't want to pick against the Jays, so they've found a way to battle all year. Let's go 5-3 Jays win.
All right, I love it. 5-3 Jays win. Bieber's able to extend super deep into the game. That's the narrative we're going with here. And we get some power from Vladdy. From Vladdy. All right, awesome stuff here. Appreciate you joining the show here, Josh. We'll chat soon.
Thanks, man.
All right, see ya. Go Jays, go. All right. You can follow Josh on Twitter. You can follow Josh on Twitter in the description down below. I'm out of it today. Going through the motions a ton. Up next, we're gonna have Rob. Oh, I forgot. I didn't edit my sheet. That's on me. I forgot to edit it. No, Rob.
You're a little tired because you still showed up to work today.
Yeah. Still giving 100% effort here. But yeah, E-Colt's going nuts in the chat right now. Pen is fine. Why does everyone always go nuts about the pen? We're fine with the pen. All hands on deck. Pen is fine. Little and Lauer are your last two. Who cares? But yeah, I wonder if Rob's still asleep.
I think he is. I would wager that Rob is asleep.
I'm gonna ask him right now.
I feel like if he was awake, he'd be in the chat. What the fuck?
Yeah, didn't go through on Telegram. Last seen 8 hours ago on Telegram as well. Wow,
this dude's asleep.
Maybe honestly, Chad, be like, tweet at Rob, see if he's asleep. Say, hey Rob, are you asleep?
He brewed some 2 a.m. espresso. Maybe he had to stay up a little bit later, and then he went to sleep.
Oh my gosh! All right, no Rob today. He's taking the day off. It seems like, but it's all right. That means that we get to less edging for the chat, less edgework edging for the chat. Before we bring on So Money and Moretto here, just a quick reminder: if you want to fire on some week nine bets, we've got our Tuesday Best Bets show, 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. G Stack George, Flup, and I believe TA is on.
It is
today.
Cleve TA.
They're all going to give out 3 best bets. They're triple hammer, double hammer, single hammer, and breaking down every game. That's today. 5 p.m. Eastern time on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. Week 9 bets. Week 8 was last week. Week 9 is this week. Anyways, all right. Wii U Edric overtime. Time to get into the Frozen Frenzy. All 32 teams are playing today. 16 games, all staggered, which should be a fun watch. These are the days you need multiple TVs. Let's bring on the Edgework crew, and also let's see the edgers in the chat. Like, give me like a little fist emoji for like the edgers in the chat. We're gonna bring on So Money and Alex Moretto. Yeah, like, there we go. They're doing it. Let's go. Shout out to the edgers. All right, guys.
Fisting and edging today. Eh?
Yeah, there we go. Fisting and edging. I mean, hey, at least we showed up. I know So Money was up late. Moretto, I know you were up late. We were like texting in our chat being like, is Suma going to be up before this game ends? And like watching this game. But yeah. Anyways.
I was up. I watched the whole thing. Wish I didn't. Extreme regret today. This is like the most envious I've ever been of So Money being on that West Coast time. He talks about West Coast time, and I'm always like, nah, not for me. Man, I would have killed to be on West Coast time last night.
Yeah, here I am, So Money, thinking So Money like stuck through and gritted through it. I forgot that you're 3 hours behind us. You went to bed at midnight.
Did I though? Did I go to bed right after the game ended?
I would hope so. What else would you be doing?
Working, man. I'm grinding all day.
All right, but, fair enough. In the lab for the Frozen Frenzy.
Yeah, what I always say though is that like in the evenings I love being on West Coast, but in the mornings, man, like there's nothing better than the East Coast morning, right? The limits aren't going up until like 7:30 for you guys. Like it's that's like that's like 4:30 for me, man.
So I guess you must have stayed up until 4:30 then, and then went to bed, and now you're back with us at noon Eastern time. Maybe that's what it was.
Well, I took a 2-hour nap because my son had ice time at 6 a.m. this morning.
Oh my gosh,
so
that's sounds like fun there. But anyways, let's get into things. So here's how we're gonna do it. All 16 games, we're gonna break it down. I'm gonna give you guys a minute each. All right, and that should keep us with time. By the end of the show, I want us to build out 4 legs of an underdog parlay. It could be an alt over, an alt under, an alt spread, just anything with a plus in front of it. 4 legs. That's all I'm looking for from you guys. It's on you, So Money and Moretto, to build this out. So if you need 1 leg, I have 1 donation leg for you guys as well. So that's how we're going to run things here. That's how we're going to do it. And we're going to start with the first game on the board, the Flames, taking on our Toronto Maple Leafs. Moretto, I know you're a big Leafs fan, so we'll start with you. 1 minute, break down this game here.
Yeah, I have. Tough to bet on the Flames at this point, considering like the number ran overnight before we had a Wolf confirmation. That being said, I do like the Flames still here a little bit. Smaller play at that number, like plus 150, 155s. I like the under quite a bit, under 5.5 plus money. I still want to fade this Leafs team that just isn't showing me anything right now. Their offense has been kind of lifeless. Just doesn't look like it because they're shooting 12% at 5-on-5 over the last 6 games. That's not going to continue. Flames are shooting just over 6% in that same time span. So I think we're going to see some some positive regression for the Flames, some negative regression for the Leafs, hence the lean towards the Flames here. Numbers just a little bit too big. And under great goaltending matchup with Wolf and Stolarz. The little break from Stolarz should help. Wolf seems to be figuring it out. Two teams struggling to generate. Flames and under.
All right, Flames and under it is. So Money, give us your 1 minute breakdown.
I echo what Alex is saying here. I do like the under quite a bit. Unfortunately, did miss the 6. That would have been nice, but I think plus money 5.5 is good. Slight disagreement in terms of the price point on the Flames. I would need a little bit higher on them, but I would not be laying the Leafs at this number either, though.
Yeah, Leafs minus 172 here. A little bit of a large number there, regardless of how bad the Flames have been. Leafs have been very uninspiring this season. Next game we have Pittsburgh Penguins taking on Philadelphia Flyers. Flyers at home, big favorites, minus 172 on the money line. Totals at 6.5, juice towards the under, minus 128. I'm sure there's some flat sixes out there that you could find. So Money, will lead with you. Any 1 minute breakdown of this game?
So the Penguins have been one of the biggest surprises this year. I like the way that the Flyers have been playing lately, but let's settle down a bit here with this number. I know that the Penguins are on a back-to-back. Sheelovs is going to be a net tonight. He's been fine. So I do like the Penguins here. I have them down to plus 135.
Okay, Penguins down to plus 135. That's for you, So Money. Moretto, any breakdown of this game? Echoing the same sentiment here from So Money.
Yeah, I want to kind of find spots to fade this Pittsburgh team. I think some serious regression is coming, but like at this number, I mean, I think the market kind of feels that way too. So there's no way I could ever lay it with the Flyers at this price, even though they are playing better under Tocchet. Didn't bet Pittsburgh though. Just kind of a nothing game for me here.
All right, nothing game here for Alex. Let's move on to the Golden Knights taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes at home, a little bit of a closer game here. Hurricanes minus 150 favorites on the money line. Again, 6.5 total. Juice towards the under, minus 134. Definitely flat sixes. Yeah, pretty much flat six. 110-ish both sides, depending on where you look. 1 minute breakdown. Moretto, give it to us.
Yeah, I talked about how I kind of am worried a little bit about what this Vegas team is doing offensively, or what they're not doing offensively, which is generating much of anything, especially a 5-on-5. But like this price is kind of out of control. I know the Canes are a wagon at home. I really like their team, but like still dealing with the cluster injury on the back end with Slavin and Keandre Miller out. Gostisbehere, I believe, will be back tonight, or he should be back tonight. That's what it sounds like. Doesn't really help them defensively. Definitely helps them offensively. Would lean towards Vegas at this number, and would lean towards an over, just given how much offense the Canes can generate and the fact they're struggling on the back end. But like Vegas's offense hasn't shown me enough, so kind of a nothing game for me. I want to see more from Vegas right now.
All right, still waiting to see more from Vegas. So Money, you echoing the same sentiment here?
I'll have to pass here as well. I think that Carolina's too banged up to lay this number, but also, as Alex mentioned, we just haven't seen Vegas at their best either right now. So I think that we do need to see a little bit more from Vegas. Both these teams, I think, in a couple of months, will be talking about how elite both of these teams are. But right now, I think that both of them are going through some things. So for now, I will pass on this game.
Yeah, waiting for both these teams to kind of hit their stride. Reminder, it's only been like 5, 6, 7 games through the season already. They got a lot of time to work on things. Columbus Blue Jackets taking on the Buffalo Sabres up next here. 6.5 minus 114 towards the under on the total on FanDuel. Buffalo Sabres small favorites, minus 118 at home. So Money, you're up next. 1 minute breakdown. Give it to us.
So apologies to Moretto first. When he posted that the Sabres were going to make the playoffs, I openly laughed at him. There's a lot of things I see with this Sabres team that, especially once they start getting healthier, I think that things are looking up for them, and there's no reason why they can't challenge for at least a wild card spot. So, however, tonight, Columbus plus money, Jet Greaves in net. Give me plus money on that kid anytime, with saying that I think that the Sabres are going to be are going to be okay moving forward.
All right, seems like you like the Sabres here. Moretto,
Columbus plus money.
Sorry, Columbus plus money. Moretto, you back in the same sentiment?
Yeah, I do really like both these teams. The plus monies are kind of getting wiped out here on
Yes.
Columbus, which I think is correct. This is essentially kind of a pick'em game. Not really looking to bet Columbus here. Kesselring kind of maybe a little under the radar, back for the Sabres tonight. We'll see if it takes some time to get up to speed. But he's a really good player, and that's a big boost for them on the back end. Nice to see them getting healthy. Both these teams are pretty dangerous. A lot of these Eastern Conference teams that have started slow, like they have to be very wary of letting that continue, because there are a lot of teams that were not playoff teams last year that are going to be threatening for spots this year. It's going to be pretty wide open. Nothing for me in this game. I really do want to bet on both these teams quite a bit going forward, though.
All right, fair enough. Here, nothing for Moretto. Let's move on and see if he has something on this game. Alex, if you have something on this game. Ducks taking on Florida Panthers. Panthers pretty heavy favorites at home, minus 176 on the money line. Total is at 6.5. Slight juice towards the under, minus 114. 1 minute breakdown. What do you like here?
Yeah, pretty wide range of prices on this total right now. You can get some 6 minus 120s, plus money 6.5, and then there's some juiced 6.5s too. I like the over. I bet it on the Tarasov news. I don't see any reason to not keep going back to the well on these Anaheim overs. Obviously, Florida not really an over team. They're definitely a little bit more of an under team, but like on the Tarasov news, I had to get involved with this. I think Anaheim's generating just so much, and they're not scared to push the pace whatsoever, which is great. Florida's kind of found their groove offensively. They're really rolling right now. I think they should have their way and be able to name the amount of goals they want to score here. Unless Dostal stands in his head, I think Florida, the way they're generating again the last few games, kind of getting things going, especially on home ice, they could potentially score 6 themselves here. So I like this over, bet it on Tarasov, and yeah, I'm still surprised by the wide range of prices out there, but the 6 minus 120s, plus money 6.5s, very good looks.
All right, we're looking for the plus money 6.5s or the 6 minus 120s towards the over. Still, that those plus money 6.5s are pretty widely available out there. Yeah, a couple 6s I'm seeing as well. All right, so money. Any opinion on this game, or you want to move on to the next?
I agree with you with the over here as well. Anaheim plays wide open pond hockey, so I think that and Florida will be fine playing that too. Dostal could stand on his head, but I think that it's just going to be too much here.
All right, let's move on to the next game. So money, this is for you. Islanders taking on the Bruins. Bruins at home. Slight dogs here. Bruins plus 118. Islanders minus 142 on the money line. Totals at 6.5. Juice towards the under. 1 minute breakdown for you. So money.
Yeah, so we're playing Bruins overs. For some reason, they have really opened up defensively. Like if it wasn't for Swayman, a lot of these games would be a lot worse than they look right now. So we will get Korpisalo in net. As Moretto likes to say, he's an unserious goalie right now. So I do like the over here. Even though Sorokin's going to be in net, Islanders they've been playing wide open hockey as well again. So I do like the over here, 6.
Yeah. All right. Over here of 6, 6.5 plus money at FanDuel. Alex, do you agree here?
Yeah, maybe I'm unserious for betting on an unserious goalie, but I know it's crazy, but I think this Bruins number is just out of control a little bit. I bet on the Bruins tonight. I don't love this team, but I think their underlying numbers are very much skewed right now because their schedule has been an absolute gauntlet. They played the Caps, the Lightning, the Knights. They played the Avs twice. They played Utah, the Panthers. They have had a really, really tough sledding schedule early on. It's not been the case for the Islanders, who have had a relatively easy schedule and kind of look like dog shit. I think this team might low-key be very, very bad because of the fact that they play pond hockey. They're still not consistent enough in generating offense, and you can basically have your way with them defensively. So I think, I know back-to-back, I know Korpisalo in net. I know it's not ideal, but this Isles team, they're shooting over 70% at 5-on-5 in their last 5 games. That's the reason they're having this win streak, not because they're playing good hockey. They're not playing good hockey. I think the Bruins are undervalued here, and I like them. I bet it at plus 128. Market has somewhat slightly disagreed. It's trickled a few cents the other direction. So it is what it is. I'm gonna stamp my authority on this one. I like the Bruins. Yeah.
All right. So you're looks like you like the Bruins here. Sounds like you like the Bruins here. I wonder if that has a little bit to do with your little rivalry with Matthew Schaefer that you've been building up over the past couple of weeks.
Schaefer's great. Nothing to do with Schaefer.
I'm just kidding here. All right, let's move on to the next game. Tampa Bay Lightning taking on Nashville Predators. Predators at home, plus 132 underdogs. Tampa Bay is laying minus 160 here on the money line. Total of 5.5. Heavy juice towards the over here on FanDuel, plus or minus 132 towards the over. I think we started with so many last time. Alex, I'm going to throw to you first 1 minute breakdown.
Yeah, I like it. I like the Lightning here. It's getting a little bit cheap, I think, which is, I mean, we're looking at minus 147 flashed. I mean, shy of minus 150 here. I don't see how I don't get involved on Tampa. I think that they're going to start ripping off a lot of wins here soon. They've been playing good hockey. They started the season slow in their first couple of games, but since then they've been playing good. They just weren't really getting results. Now the results are coming. This is a really bad Preds blue line without Roman Josi back there. It's really, really bad. I think this one has potential to get ugly. I think this is too cheap. I don't understand why Tampa's not taking money. I think this is one of those that will run quite a bit closer to puck drop in those last 30 minutes. So I don't think they close north of 150. I think we see bigger closing numbers here. I like Tampa.
All right. You like Tampa here. So money echoing the same sentiment.
Directionally, yes, I agree with Alex. I just think that I need a little bit more, well, a little bit less on Tampa Bay. Yeah, it's right where I made it. I would have liked them in the minus 140 range. Don't know if it's going to get there, but I think it's a little bit too expensive right now. But I do agree overall with the Lightning side though.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Jets at the Wild. True coin flip here, minus 110 both sides on FanDuel. Totals at 5.5, minus 132 towards that over. So money, break this game down for us.
I did play the under 6. I think that the Jets, their early season production, I think that it's not sustainable. And this is a team that I think that is going to start getting into a more defensive structure. And I think same with Minnesota as well. I think that both these teams, we're getting a 6 right now, or we got a 6 this morning. I don't think we're going to get 6s on either of these two teams in a couple of months.
Okay. All right. There's still that 6 available, minus 122 at FanDuel. You like the total there. You like the under. Alex, you in agreement with some money here?
Yeah, I lean that way for sure. I didn't bet it. I kind of waited to see if the Jets would take some money, or I guess I should say, to see if the Wild would get faded, like they kind of have been a little bit, and they did. I grabbed some plus money on the Wild, nothing crazy, but I did grab that plus 100 when it flashed. I just want to keep fading the Jets while I can without Lowry and Perfetti. I don't think the Wild are as bad as their record has been so far. They're shooting just 6% at 5-on-5 this season. I mean, that's an insanely low number. That is by far the lowest mark in the NHL. They're way too talented to be continuing at that rate. I don't think the Jets are very good, at least not at currently constructed without those guys. So I think there's some positive progression coming here for the Wild. I mean, at these numbers would be more of just a lean. But if the plus money flashes again, I think the Wild are worth a bit of a bet.
All right, looking at the Wilds here, if we can get a plus money to flash, I think they're. Is that real? No, that's not real. Sorry, never mind. No plus monies just yet here. We're about halfway through the games, so before we get into the next half of the games, let's see those fists in the chat just to see if you guys are still awake, still kicking around. And if you are and you haven't liked the stream already, do us a huge favor, smash the like button before we get into the next bundle of games. Now that we're halfway through here, all right. Detroit Red Wings, St. Louis Blues. Another true pick of minus 110, both sides over at FanDuel. 6-ish. Totals at 6, slight juice to the over, it looks like. I think I'm seeing some 6.5s out there as well with heavy juice to the under. Alex, we'll start with you. 1 minute breakdown. Go.
Sorry, Detroit St. Louis, you said?
Detroit St. Louis.
Yeah. I zoned out for a second. It was late night. I don't have anything in this game. I don't think you can really do much with it without knowing what's going to happen with Robert Thomas and Jake Neighbors. Obviously, two pretty significant pieces for St. Louis. So without knowing what's going on with them, just no way I could really bet it right now. I just want to say I'm very upset about the fact that the Blues lost this game on Saturday. They had no business losing that game. They largely dominated that, took the 4-0 lead, lost 6-4. That was insane. Was thinking I was going to get back on them at a revenge spot, but like just such a bad spot for them on a back-to-back. Had to travel back home to St. Louis last night, like missing 2 of their better forwards. Yeah, I just can't do anything really here.
All right, seems like we're gonna pass this one. So Money, are you in agreement with the pass here?
Passing for now. I do like Detroit in this game. I do like. I know I come in higher on Detroit as it is, but I think we do need to wait for news to a time to market entry though. But depending on the news, I will be on Detroit. It's just a matter of when the news comes down, how quickly I'll play it, or if I'll wait until the Blues money comes in.
All right, waiting for the Blues money, maybe. Waiting for better number on Detroit. Trying to time the market, as we're always trying to do here on the show. Up next, we have Washington Capitals taking on the Dallas Stars. Total is around, again, little bit of 6s out there, juiced towards the under. Minus 130 here for Dallas at home. So Money, you get to go first here. Who do you like?
Yeah, so Dallas did run into a little bit of a rough patch there, and I don't think wins against a banged-up Carolina team and Nashville are going to do it for me quite yet in terms of thinking that they're all the way back. Washington is a team that maybe I was a little bit low on coming into the season. They got their asses kicked against Ottawa. I think that it's safe to say that they're gonna respond here based on the makeup of that team. So I did play Washington. I think there's a little bit of more room to go here. I have Washington down to plus 110.
All right, Washington down to plus 110 here. Scanning the board. There's a plus 113 out here, plus 115s out there. You can still scoop up. There's plus 110s as well. Unfortunately, plus 108 at FanDuel is the
sharp.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes here over on FanDuel. If you can get a plus 110, you're going to want to scoop that up here. Move on to the next game. Senators taking on the Blackhawks. Senators on the road, laying minus 140. Blackhawks plus 116 on the money line here. Total over at FanDuel 6, juiced under minus 122. Alex, you're up next. Who do you like?
Yeah, the Sens are not this good. They kind of got some decent breaks in their schedule of late. Like I'll be looking for spots to kind of bet against them a little bit, especially more so to fade their offense. They're not generating nearly as much as they've been scoring. I'm not loving the price on unders here, so I'm not really getting involved in general in this game. I don't really want to back Chicago either. This is kind of, I understand that why it's being discounted the way it is, just with the back-to-back, but like nothing for me in this game. I do want to start betting some. I keep saying it, and I've done it a couple times, but I really want to keep betting these Sens unders. Not tonight. Just not tonight.
Not tonight. Little bit too tough there with like the pretty much like minus 116, minus 122 on the under 6 here. Maybe is a little bit too much. So Money, you in agreement with the sentiment here?
For the most part, I will pass on this game. I'm a little higher as usual on Ottawa, but I like the way that the Chicago team is coming along as well. I do agree that I think going forward we do want to bet Ottawa unders, but we also want to keep betting Chicago overs. So there's a bunch of conflicting things here. So I will sit this one out.
All right, let's move on to the next game here. New Jersey Devils taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Avs minus 160 at home. Devils plus 130. Total 6.5 at FanDuel. Juice towards the under minus 128. So Money, sorry, you're next. Give us the breakdown of this game.
Yeah, I think that this game is lined fairly. I think that Colorado is the better team, but New Jersey has been playing very well. And Colorado, I think that goaltending is starting to be an issue. Wedgwood started off very well, but I think that that his performance was not sustainable as well. So something to keep an eye on as Colorado moves forward. It seems to be a good game, but I will ultimately pass here.
All right, we're passing for So Money. And then I guess we're going to pass to Moretto to see if he's in agreement here with So Money.
Yeah, I'll pass it back to you because I don't have anything in this game. I agree with everything So Money said. I think Colorado's worthy of this price tag. It is pretty fairly lined. I think the best team in the NHL right now, the Avs, especially as they get Blackwood back very soon here. Yeah, I think this is a fair number that maybe looks a little big because of how well the Devils have been playing, but it's not, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on to the Mammoth and the Oilers. Oilers at home, -150. Total of in that game, is around a flat 6, juice towards the over, -125 towards the over at FanDuel. Alex, we'll start with you here. You like Edmonton this game? You like the Mammoths? How you feeling here?
I don't like the Mammoth. If we can get cheaper on Edmonton at one point, hopefully like Utah takes more money. They're a pretty popular team to for the market. I'm just not really dying to get involved, honestly, one way or the other. I think that Utah is still a team I need to see more of before I buy in, but I'm a little bit more scared of my preseason stance on them that they weren't a playoff team. I think that what they've shown so far would suggest to me that I was wrong and they are a playoff team, but I'm not willing to fully believe that also after, still a pretty limited sample. I think there's things I still want to see from them before I get on board. So yeah, Edmonton's going to figure it out. It's only a matter of time. They always do, but I would need cheaper to bet them here.
Yep, looking for a better number on Edmonton. Hopefully we can get that to flash later in the day. So money, you in agreement here?
Well, the side is tough. I do agree with that. I'm higher on Utah than Alex is, but I don't think that they're as good as they've been playing so far this year. And I also think that Edmonton is going to figure it out. I did play the over here. I think that Edmonton is still generating. They're just not scoring right now as much as they will as the season goes on. So I do like the over. I don't think that in a Utah Edmonton game we're gonna get a cheapish 6 like this again. So it's something that I want to jump on right now.
All right, so you want the 6 here in this Utah Edmonton game. Let's flip over to the next game. Rangers and the Canucks. Rangers -120 on the road over here against so many. Your Canucks. I'm going to break the order here. I'm going to throw to you first. Do you like anything in this game?
Really tough one. I think there's so many storylines here. Canucks, they really came together in that Edmonton game, in the first game without Quinn Hughes. But I mean, let's be real here, right? Like they need Quinn Hughes. So yeah, tough game. I'll pass. But I will definitely be watching. Maybe Pedersen can get some revenge here on JT Miller.
All right, Pedersen gets his payback. Is the billing of this game? Alex, you in agreement here? Are you on anything?
I did. The one thing I did bet so far was an under. I think that, I mean, you see what the Rangers are doing right now, struggling to score. Obviously, Vancouver not necessarily playing the best defensive hockey right now. But I mean, the Rangers 5-on-5 defense has been unreal. And I think they're going to kind of dictate the pace of this game with the way they've been playing. So I think they're going to be able to kind of limit the Canucks, especially if there's no Quinn Hughes. I don't know how we feel about that so money. I think no Quinn Hughes tonight based on Willander being called up. It would make a lot of sense that we won't see Quinn Hughes here. So also kind of lean a little bit more towards the Rangers. I think they're playing a lot better than the record suggests. And it's just a matter of time before they break through the wall there and start scoring some goals. Unless like it just doesn't happen and they kind of collapse on each other and it just turns into a bit of a shit show like it did last season, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility. But again, I kind of want to time things here because I do think it's very possible that we have Jonathan Quick start. They're pretty consistent about not overplaying Shesterkin, and he started 3 in a row here. So I still would be fine with it if it's Quick starting, but like, again, you're going to probably get better prices at that point. So I just think you kind of have to wait and depending on what you like in this game, bet accordingly based on, or I guess time the market based on the news that we still need to wait for in this game.
All right. Wait and see approach from Alex here. Nothing really from So Money. Let's flip over and talk Alex's favorite team, the Montreal Canadiens, taking on the Seattle Kraken. Canadiens favorite on the road, minus 128. Total is 6, juiced under, minus 128, 6 towards the under, minus 128 at FanDuel as well. Alex, your team, your boys, you like them here? What's going on in this game?
Yeah, I think under 6 to minus 120 is good. That's what I bet in this game. I do think the Habs are also a wagon, so maybe Habs get to minus 180 as well. But I didn't bet the side in this one. I did bet the under. Don't know if it's going to be Dobish or Montembeault. Obviously, Dobish has been fantastic. I still believe in Montembeault if it's him. He's too talented not to turn it around. Seattle's offense is just so terrible, and like they're really struggling to get anything going. Going to be kind of a classic road game for the Habs. Their defense has dropped off a little bit without Gouli, but like still, I think a strong defensive team, and especially in the right matchups, which this one very much is. So I think this is going to be the very low event game at 5-on-5, as it was 2 weeks ago when these two teams played. And I also bet the under, and was, very undeservingly lost that bet as that game ended up going to overtime at 3-3. So a little bit of a redemption story here. We're going to get it back on this under 6 tonight.
All right, getting it back on the under 6. So money, you in agreement here?
Yeah, I didn't play it, but I don't disagree. So I got nothing here, so I'll be passing.
All right, passing it off. Let's go to the last game here. So money, we'll let you lead. Kings taking on the Sharks. Kings laying minus 215. Sharks able to pick up a win since we've last been on this show, which is good to see, especially for a couple kids who live in the San Jose area, specific 2 kids who live in the San Jose area. They're not getting sacrificed anytime soon. Totals at 6. Minus 118 towards the under. So money, I'll let you lead the way. Any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, so I played surprisingly, I played a small under here. An under in a Sharks game is tough, but I think that as bad as they've started, I think that they're a team that is trying to play defensively at least, right? I don't think they're not the same as Anaheim that has no foundation of a defense at all. They just want to run and gun. I think San Jose is trying to implement that at least a little bit. And the Kings, the Kings are who they are right now. They're a defensive team that is going to try to generate offensively here and there, but for the most part, the Kings are an under team. So if I'm right, if the trend for San Jose is trending towards an under, then I want to be in front of that. So I did play the under here.
All right, playing the under here in this game, and that wraps up what we have for today. Reminder, chat, smash the like button. Before we head out, I have an assignment for you guys. You think you're going to be able to come up with a plus money, we'll call it underdog, round robin, parlay, take a little bit of inspiration from our friends over at Hit the Books here. I have something built out just based on your opinions, and you guys can tell me yes or no on these things. I'm going to lead with the first one in the first game, Calgary Flames money line. Seems like you guys like the Flames here a little bit. Leafs.
So many less so, but
listen, like just watching these Leafs games after any of these important Jays games, they look sleepy and they look sloppy. Terrible handicap for me, but like I'll take a swing on that. Are you guys okay with that? That's the first leg. So money, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right. Next leg we have the Montreal Canadiens minus 1.5. Alex, you said they were good on the money line to minus 180, so we got the minus 1.5 plus 190. We good with that?
Absolutely. I'll never say no to that.
So, Money, you're like biting your tongue there a little bit. I can see it.
No, I'm good.
Okay. 2 more to go. Vegas Golden Knights against the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes a little bit banged up, plus 125 for the Knights here on the money line. We okay with that one? No, not so much.
A little less so.
Okay, let's take that one out. Let's take that one out. What else we got then? What else are you guys looking at?
What's your take on the Bruins here, So Money? You don't love it?
It's not that I don't love it. I think it's fine at the price point. I just needed a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's good to add though.
All right, let's do it. Plus 122 on the Bruins. The last leg I had here was Tampa Bay Lightning minus 1.5 plus 150. I'm getting a nod from So Money. Getting a nod from Alex. There we go. Yeah. 4-leg parlay. round robin that. It's the Habs -1.5 plus 190, the Flames plus 142, the Lightning -1.5 plus 150, and then the Boston Bruins at plus 122. 4-leg parlay pays out 37 to 1. Round robin to your heart's desires. You can do 2s, 3s, 4s, whatever you want to do. And that wraps up the segment today. So Money, Alex, appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see one of you at least on Thursday. We'll chat soon.
See somebody tomorrow too.
Oh yeah, we're seeing somebody tomorrow. Perfect. Love it. All right. Burying the lead here. I love it. All right, we'll talk soon, guys.
All right, see you guys.
See you guys.
See ya. All right, that wraps up today's show. Guys, do us a huge favor. You know the drill. You know what to do. Smash that like button before we head out. It goes a long way for us here on the channel. It tells YouTube, hey, let's suggest this stuff to other people who also like what I like. And we'll be putting the algorithm. And then it's just a constant process here. We really need you guys to do that. It goes a long way. And if you're new to the channel as well, you stuck around the entire show, hit the subscribe button. I don't think you'll regret it. If you made it this far in the video and it's your first time watching it, means you really like our stuff. So, yeah, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button as well. Today, what do we have upcoming for the rest of the day? We just have
Best bets.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, we have Life
of a Capper
Life
will
of
go
a
up
Capper is
tomorrow.
coming out tomorrow as well.
Which I was going to plan on editing last night, but obviously it did not happen.
That's not happening. You just got to do it today. You can't take it off like Rob. Maybe you can ask him to edit it.
Yeah.
But no, that's not happening. All right. Tomorrow as well, Mr. Peanut Butter is going to be on talking some college football. Going to be breaking down the Week 10 college football slate. Money's going to be back. He's going to be talking some CFL playoffs. We're also going to talk about some MLB. We're going to be reacting to the Jays game no matter what. And then it says Kirk Evans on the sheet, but he messaged me today saying he can't make it, and I forgot to tell Alex. So maybe Pips will be on.
Get Robin.
Yeah, maybe Rob.
Rob make up for it.
One in the chat if you want Rob. Honestly, tweet at Rob. Be like, why weren't you on the show today? If you guys are here, just give Rob a mention because I messaged him. He still hasn't opened my message. Last seen now 9 hours ago on Telegram.
He's asleep.
He is
100%
100% asleep. So maybe we should ask him on Twitter. Anyways, guys, appreciate you guys tuning in. We appreciate all your views. We do this for you. My brain is broken. I need to take a nap at some point today. Hopefully I'll get a good night's rest and we'll be back refreshed for tomorrow. And hopefully it's after a Jays win. Anyways, this has been the Tuesday, October 28th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.